Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Iman Farhan bin Kamarulzaman and I am from class HLC2533 and this is my individual presentation assignment. The objective we do the HCP analysis are to identify halal traits present at each process step, to determine the risk level of every process steps involved and to develop control measures for each halal threats. How to identify the halal threats in our company? We have to know the types of halal threats that have probability will happen in our company. Employees that have a lot of knowledge and experiences will also helping to identify the halal threats. Firstly, the steps in identifying halal threats is we must identify the halal threats for material, like were the materials we purchase mixed with another haram sources or not, whether in the storage room or transportation. We can check the information like the list of raw material purchased. Secondly, halal threats for people. The company must take care of their workers healthy and avoid their workers from bringing personal belongings that made from haram materials in the premise. This is because if the workers are ill and bringing their personal items that made from haram sources, it can contaminate the product. Next, company must know if there are any halal threats on the machine or equipment, like are the machines in the premise use halal or haram sources for the lubricant or grease. If the company use haram sources for machine and equipment, the company need to change it immediately or will lose their halal status. Lastly, for the halal threats is environment. Halal threats for environment are like at the premise surrounding if there are haram animals like dog and pig, or there are many pests roaming around in the premise and can contaminate the product. For my company, we have identified that there are 3 HCP and we already made the risk management plan summary. Halal risk management is an internal mechanism which identify, monitor, control and prevent any non-compliance arises throughout the supply chain by implementing the principle which had been outlined by the competent authorities. The first HCP in our company are from the purchasing process step. What we get from the monitoring is the purchaser have it is bought raw materials and packaging material that does not have halal certification. How we get to know it? Because the ingredient and packaging material does not have any halal certification from JAKIM or any foreign halal certification bodies. This happen every time the purchaser bought raw materials and packaging materials. The person who is responsible for this is the company purchaser. We can confirm it by checking the records like purchase order record and raw material list record. The purchaser must firstly check whether the raw materials and packaging materials that the purchaser wants to buy is halal certified and is still valid to be used in manufacturing a product. The second HCP is from the frying process step. We get to know that the worker uses oil that is not halal certified in frying and banana chips that can cause the product to be non-halal. This happen because the purchaser overlooked when buying the cooking oil. This could happen every time the banana chips is fried. So the corrective action we take is the purchaser must check truly the raw material that will be used before making a purchase. If the current supplier does not have any halal certified cooking oil, then the purchaser must take a new supplier to supply their oil with the agreement of the internal halal committee. The record that we can look for this HCP are purchase order record and raw material list record. The last HCP that we got to identify is from the packaging process. What happened in this process is pests might slip into the product from ceiling or floor that can contaminate the product. What happened in this process is pests might slip into the product from ceiling or floor that can contaminate the product. This happened because of crack in the ceiling or on the floor that the pest can easily slip into the premise. The area that this could happen are at production area, specifically packaging area. The person who is responsible for this is the company pest control officer. We noticed that the premise must have a weekly pest control checking to make sure that there won't be any pest that can contaminate the product. We can check the record like pest control record and cleaning processing area form to see whether the pest being controlled or not. Last but not least, what I get after completing the HAS manual project is I get to know that the struggle of being a halal executive. I realized that it is not easy to control every aspect of halal in the company, and as a halal executive, we must always thinking about the solution if anything happen in the company. Other than that, I get more confident to talk in front of other people when presenting about our project, and get more understanding about getting the halal certified in the industry.